Hello friends, my name is Sachin Malik and in this video we are going to see the golden principle in live action. In the last video we learned about the golden principle which says that in first 10 to 12 moves we should develop all of these 4 minor pieces and castle. Now let's see how we can implement this in live game. Let's implement the golden principle in this game. I start with the e4, controlling the central square and opening the diagonal of the bishop. My opponent wants to play d5. It is the French defense. I simply defend this pawn and developing the knight to the best square. Let's defend this pawn one more time while developing the bishop. Okay, maybe he wants to play c4. So I can just first take here. Let's take the knight also. Now we can develop the knight to the best square. Okay. What should I do here? Should I take the pawn? Or I should just castle here. I'm a pawn down here in this position. In the next move I am going to take here. Okay, he just protected the pawn. Okay, no problem. My opponent is protecting this pawn. Can I just play here? I have not developed this bishop yet. Okay, he played here, predictable, and now maybe I can just go here. He cannot capture my knight because of this pin, and I'm also attacking this. Let's see what my opponent plays. How is he going to defend the f7 pawn? Maybe knight d8. Yeah, possible, it's possible. I don't think this defends the pawn. I can just take it. He cannot take with the queen because of bishop g6. And now he has to worry about this, his rook also. Yeah, it's a bad situation for my opponent. Yeah, now it's time for the checkmate. Even if it takes with the rook, I can just go here, give a check, and then it's a checkmate. And if it takes with the queen, then also it's a checkmate. So I think my opponent is lost. Okay, he played queen to here. His idea is if I go here, he's going to take this. So I'm going to play this and give a check first. And my opponent resigned. If my opponent cannot capture my knight because it's a pin. So if my opponent goes here, then I can just play queen s7 and it's a checkmate. Let's analyze this game. I started with the e4, central pawn, controlling the central square and opening the diagonal for my bishop. My opponent played e6. His idea is to play d5, attacking my central pawn. I played d4. This pawn move controls these central squares and open the diagonal for the dark squared bishop. d5, I developed the knight to the best square and protecting this e4 pawn. My opponent played knight f6, developing his knight to the best square and attacking my pawn. So I defended by developing a piece. c5, attacking the central square. I played e cross g4 and I exchanged the knight. My opponent took with the queen. His idea is to capture this g2 pawn. I played knight f3 and my opponent captured one pawn. Castle. If you notice, my opponent is up a pawn but he has not developed his minor pieces. In the opening, our aim is to develop the minor pieces, not the queen. So now my opponent played knight c6, a good move. I simply developed the rook to the semi-open file. Again a good piece developing move. Here I played bishop e4. I'm not sure about this if this is the best move. And then I went knight g5. This is a tricky move. He has to worry about this h7 pawn right now. My opponent played h6, which is a natural move, but actually it's a mistake. Now I can play queen h5. My opponent cannot capture my knight because it's a pin. My queen is pinning the rook. Queen e7 is not a good move, and now I can capture it. The point is, my opponent cannot play queen cross f7 because of bishop g6 pinning this queen. So this was not the best move, and the best move I think was maybe knight d8. And computer is saying my opponent should have played short castle. Queen e7, and now black is lost. Queen s7 is a deadly threat. My opponent played queen f6. After knight cross h6 check, my opponent has to play king h8. Now it's a checkmate. I hope you learned something from this game. See you in the next video.